What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Mommy Confessions. Happy New Year's, ladies.
Yay!
We made it.
My name is Angel Lakita Moore. I'm one of the hosts of Mommy Confessions, which is a weekly podcast where we tell the truth and nothing but the truth about motherhood, womanhood, and anything that is affecting us in our day-to-day lives. And I'm joined by my other two co-hosts that I'm going to allow to introduce themselves. We're going to start with the lady to the right of me on the screen. Quinn, take it away.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Happy New Year. I am Quinn Walters. Welcome. And welcome back.
Hey guys, I am Dinora Walcott, and it's lovely to see you.
Yes. If you are used to Mommy Confessions, we're going to be doing it a little differently. Our episodes will be shorter, a little bit easier to digest. Also, it gives us an opportunity to actually get them up because it does take a lot to be able to carve out an hour plus time to get each episode done. So they'll be shorter. You'll notice that. But you'll still get all the good tea, all the good laughs, and all the good truth. Now, what is remaining the same is that we are confessing at the beginning of each episode.
That's right.
So, since it's 2020, this will probably be the only time. Okay, the only time I go first in 2021. So my confession is that I can't wait to get an au pair to help me take care of these kids. Listen, an au pair. Okay, an au pair. I used to be one of those people that wanted to be, and I still do want to be heavily involved in everything that my children do, but I am realizing that I am obviously one person. I do have my husband, he's their father, but it is still, there are certain things that they need to do in life that doesn't necessarily have to be executed by me.
Right.
And they will still feel loved and they will still feel joy and whatever the heck they're supposed to feel as kids. But I'm realizing that, especially with cleaning the house, while that was something I wasn't good at to begin with, and actually the people that I got helping me now, they could be a lot better. But I'm realizing my kids don't care if I'm the one that cleans up after them or if it's somebody else.
Absolutely.
That's not, I don't feel like, while they will have memories of maybe when I'd yell and be like, pick up your toys. It's not going to be like, well, my mom, she stopped being the person that cleaned the house all the time.
No.
So, and while that sounds kind of, it sounds bougie.
No, it doesn't.
That's where I'm at in 2021.
Not at all.
Listen, I don't mind.
It sounds practical.
I was about to say, that's not bougie. It's smart. If you have the ability to do a thing to make your life easier, why is that bougie?
You know what? I think it's something that for some reason has been taught to us as Black folk. Like, a part of our Blackness is struggling through something instead of figuring out a way to make it easier for us. It's like a badge of courage to be like, yeah, and I pushed through and I got there and I made it, instead of, it was simple. It was really easy. I was so
Listen, I grew up with a lot of rich white kids who had nannies and housekeepers and the help, and they didn't seem apologetic about it at all. Girl. So, no, ma'am.
It's fine, Angel. It's fine. The word may be bourgeois. Okay, bourgeois, darling. Au pair.
Au pair.
But the actual circumstance of having an au pair is life, okay? Yeah. And I'm gonna pray that prayer for you, sis. And I hope and pray to God that you can get it, because you are busy and you deserve it. If there's anybody that deserves an au pair, you deserve it.
Well, thank you.
That's right.
Because you know what, it's different than what it was back in the day. Like, either a lot of times moms weren't career women, which is, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. I'm not even, at one point in time, that was really a goal of mine. But even if a mom wasn't, she had grandmothers, great aunts, other older people that kind of took place of an au pair that was like you got to do this, drop baby off at my house. Oh, I'm coming in the morning, I'll fix her lunch, you go on ahead. Well,
you had your village.
Yes.
Right. So, and that's what we lack, being from other places and being in California.
Right.
Right.
You earned your au pair, darling.
I can't wait to have her. I can't wait. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So my confession is 2020. 2020 caused me to have too many cocktails to the point where now I think I'm allergic to vodka.
Oh,
No.
Yo, like,
No.
it'd be like, oh, let's have a cocktail. Let's try this. Let's have that. And it was just like 2020 was mad stressful. So it was more than my system has ever consumed. And now I get terrible indigestion when I drink vodka.
No, listen, I'm listening, but as I said, 2020 is the ghost up in here, so my computer's about to go dead. I got to figure out how to plug it in because the plug is too far away. But go ahead with your vodka alcohol, your allergy to vodka.
Like, it's crazy. And it got to the point where I had a physical aversion to alcohol. Like, I love wine, and I couldn't even think about wine. Like, no, not pregnant. It's not that. But I couldn't even look at red wine. I love Cabernet and a good Merlot. Come on. For about 2.5, 3 weeks, I couldn't even, I was just like, ew, alcohol. That sounds terrible. Now I'm okay. I can have wine like
I was gonna say
once a week. I'll have a glass of wine, but it's crazy that my system is like, you don't need that. That you did enough. You've done enough.
You've done it. You've tapped out. You've maxed out. You're cut off, as they say at the bar. Cut her off. She's cut off.
Look. NV Collins said, "Girl, we're gonna pray that allergy away." Amen. Amen.
That is one for the books.
It's wild, right?
It's unfortunate, but it's kind of,
right. It's kind of okay. Like,
it's a double-sided coin.
Right. Because my bloat has started to go down. My weight hasn't gone down. But my bloat that I didn't even realize was bloat, which was clearly from being like, let's have a cocktail all the time. I've noticed that has definitely started to change. Wow. The pounds have not yet. But those will come off when I actually do something about them.
You're loved. You're loved. Who cares about pounds? You're loved.
Man, little tiny hearts to you too.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready? What's your confession?
The funny thing is the opposite happened to me. Like for quarantine, I was like, I'm about to drink. And I have nowhere to be. I have nowhere to go. And then I didn't have a taste for alcohol. So I was just like, I got to look and I ain't even drinking it. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But
that's so interesting.
And now I got the time and I ain't got to drive and I don't have the taste for it. Mm-hmm. So go figure. But my confession is that with all this pandemic and everything that it has brought, and as much as I abhor being stuck in the house and scavenging for work and wondering when the industry is going to fully open back up and all that. Although I did work during the pandemic, praise God, hallelujah. We will thank him. But with everything that it has brought, we all know, I need to go down that road. But with all that negativity, I was able to see some silver linings within it. And one of them is getting closer to my daughter. And
that's great.
It's just something that I don't know. I didn't necessarily think about, but now when I look back, I can say, wow, your kid is gone from you for 6 or more hours a day when you're in school, and now she's at home, obviously, for those hours. So I'm getting an opportunity to see how she works, how her academic flow is, and I can interject and I can facilitate and help her and assist and then in between in the breaks I get to love on her and hug and kiss on her. And so for me, I'm just like really excited that now I feel like I'm even closer to her. I know her little nuance qualities and her personality and her little ticks even better now. And I feel like now I can be a better mother because I'm like, well, I know she likes this, or I know that'll make her cry, or that'll, inspire her, or whatever it is. I just feel like I have a better grasp on who she is in the academic realm, but as well as her personality, because she's ever changing. I mean, kids grow so fast. We know we're mamas. And so I'm just like tapped in more, I feel like. So if there's anything that came out of the pandemic, it's that. We're closer.
That's so beautiful.
I love that.
That's so beautiful.
It's true.
She's like, I love my baby. I love her. So if you're watching or listening and you're at a place that you can comment, give us your confession of the day. What is your mommy confession? And it better be the truth, okay? Ooh, no holds barred. Now we've come to the section of this show / podcast where we want to gas up someone. Now, typically it has to be a mama, but I'm going to tell you right now, my person is not a mama, but I feel like she has made everybody her child, okay, with the way she has been just making history. And all of us, if we have one, we can name it. But if you don't have one, ladies, no pressure. But I do want to take the time out to just acknowledge people that I think deserve to have acknowledgement. I'm not going to take Dinora's because we're going to save hers for last, because this is somebody that definitely needs to be gassed all the way up. But the person that I want to gas up is Miss Stacey Abrams. She is not a mama, but when I tell you she parented Georgia,
didn't she?
Okay. She parented Georgia, registered millions of voters, completely took that state by storm. And you know what's odd, because I'm gonna let you bring up with your person here in a second, Dinora, is that I wonder if all of this would have been possible if she had children that she had to take care of, because the amount of work it takes to do what she did, to turn a whole state, the amount of like footwork of getting people registered, getting the right people registered to be able to turn not only the presidential election, but also the seats in was it the Senate or the House?
The Senate.
Was it the Senate?
They had to take back the Senate.
To also take back the Senate, like the amount of work. This is on top, right on the heels of her running for governor. Like, I wonder, and I know, yes, Black women are magical, but let's be honest, we're also just human. If that would have been possible with children like the age of our children. Yeah, if you got college kids, it's a little less daunting because they're adults. But regardless,
that's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of just
energy.
Yeah. Okay. But believing in something that people never thought would happen. I know for me, I surely when during the actual presidential election, I kept trying to figure out, why are we paying attention to Georgia? We know what Georgia does. Georgia gonna do what it do. Not realizing how much work she had put into it. So regardless of whether or not she has children that she's either, whether or not she ever birthed any, adopted any, whatever, I feel like she did the work of a mother, which was changing the world.
Absolutely. And coming off the heels of not succeeding at her original mission.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And flipping it.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
She's amazing.
Fortitude. And resilience and tenacity, honey.
Come on and use all the big words.
Look her up. Look her up in the dictionary. Her picture's right there next to all of them.
All of them. Quinn, did you have?
I do have a gas up. But real quick, I'm gonna gas up my own mother. Why?
Yes.
Because my mother lives in Chicago. And at the drop of a dime, if I need her, if I book a job, if I don't feel good, if I'm, anything, she will get on a plane and she will be here she will buy a one-way ticket, and she does not buy a return ticket. She's like, I'll leave when you need me to leave. And she will just stop her life. And she's still married to my dad, 40 years. And she has 2 other kids in Chicago, my 2 sisters, and my brother's here in LA too. But she will just up and leave and up and be a support system to me. So hallelujah. Thank you, mama. I love you so much. That is my gas up, mama.
Yes. And she's so beautiful too. She's so sweet and beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. You already know.
Listen, Miss Iris was Miss Iris was clutch for me multiple times. She didn't watch little Amar. Amar gave her hell. And she just was like, it's fine. I was like, girl, I beat him, put him out. I would beat him, put him out on the sidewalk. So yes, Miss Iris deserves all of the love.
She's a real mama bear.
Okay, Dinora, we're gonna let you finish out this. Come on,
okay.
She is. Dinora, we're gonna let you finish out this segment.
Mine's just, real quick. Kamala Harris. She's a stepmother. And they call her Mamala, which I think is adorable. And I mean, like, seeing her on the cover of Vogue, our first Black and Indian or mixed race, whatever name you want to put in front of it, she's brown and beautiful. And she's so smart and so talented and so accomplished. And she's got a very fearless nature about her that I adore. She's human. She has, people like to critique her on what she did as a prosecutor, et cetera, et cetera. But then I say, what is a prosecutor supposed to do also? Because, that's kind of like their job. But anyways, on the good side, she's amazing. And I love that she is one of our first representations of what we look like at the head in the White House. I'm just like, listen, more and more.
Please.
Mamala. And I just want to slightly correct you. She's the first woman. Bump any race.
Right.
Yeah. There has not been nary other color woman that has sat in this seat. Only white men. She's not only the first woman, she's the first person of color. You can remove gender out of that too. Because there's been no Black, white, Asian.
Oh, you mean the VP? VP. I was like, Obama.
In the VP.
In the VP seat. If you look at the halls of VP, you only see white men. So she's not only the first woman, she's also the first person of any type of color. The one obviously that I'm focused most on is the fact that she's Black.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So I always like to make sure that is made known, because a lot of times it feels like that's all we're running for, is to be the first Black something. Right. But she gets to be the first on so many levels. Yes, all of the things. So yes, Mamala,
we here for you.
She did it.
She did it.
That sketch, by the way, or that clip, Angel, that was everything.
We did it, Kev. We did it.
I may have peed on myself. You a fool, sis. A whole fool.
So we're going to jump into the actual conversation of the show. I feel like time is flying by, but that's all right. There will be more episodes. It'll be more episodes. I want to know, ladies, what do you miss about not being a mother?
Ooh. Oh, I can tell you the first thing.
What is it?
Is being able to go and come whenever I want without having to plan for my children. Like, obviously their dad is here, but even that's a conversation that you wouldn't have to have if you just be like, I'll be right back. You can't just be right back and be like, the baby somewhere and his sister somewhere else. I see you. I don't know. Like, that's what I miss.
Yes. I'm loving that my Patreon is chiming in. So I just want to let people know that that's happening. But Quinn, go ahead.
Yes, Manisha.
Go ahead.
I miss being able to guilt-free club hop, drop it like it's hot, bust it open. I mean, I still do, don't get me wrong, but like, guilt-free and like just at the drop of a dime, like Dee said, just get up and go. Like, I'm at the club. Like, first of all, there's a pandemic, can't do that, but sans pandemic, I just cannot get up and just go. And I just cannot even do it without being like, I need to get back home. Or, what if someone snaps a picture of me while I'm in the lowest split of all? I didn't have any of those qualms when I was 23. Okay. No. So that's one thing I miss. It's just being able to live up, party it up, guilt-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
I miss being able to have whatever type of conversation I want to have without the thought of, okay, if they hear this, how are they going to interpret what I'm saying? And like, even though like my oldest is definitely one that I'm like, okay, you understand a lot more. But the 5-year-olds, I can get away with some conversations. While they won't understand what I'm saying, they still might repeat what I'm saying.
Yes, they will.
With the thought of, I have no idea I didn't know this was a bad thing. So I'm just going to say it.
Just saying
so
it.
That the censorship. And I try not to censor myself too much. Like I'm the type that I do curse around my kids because I don't want them to be shocked. This curse words happen. They know in my house, they know that curse words are adult words that only some adults use and that they're not appropriate to be used in every single situation. But there's still some things that I'm just like, I don't want to have that conversation in front of them because they'll be like, now wait a minute, what does she mean by, oh girl had an outbreak? Like what does that mean? what? Did she break out the house? What did mama mean by that? You know what I'm saying? Like so
wild. It's funny because I feel like right now I'm the question answerer, right? And that I think is something that I wish I could kind of go back because I feel like every second of the day I'm being probed. Aria is asking me every question you can think of, and I'm just trying to come up with these answers and trying to be sensitive to her age, but then be honest, you know, and be real. I'm not going to feed her no BS, but definitely trying to curate what I say to her age appropriate.
Right.
And so being on my toes is really like, you gotta be on top of it because she's asking me about my body, about her body, about
how it all
babies, and why can't you just have a baby right now? Some things they hurt, like what? You know what I'm saying? And so these types of things are always happening. And she's like, she picked up my ID. She was like, what's sex? And I was like, well, sex is your gender. Sex is your gender. Sex means you're a girl or you're a boy or, you know, you're something. It defines who you are physically, how people can recognize you usually. And she was just like, okay. So you had sex with my dad. And what does A have to do with B?
She was like, I figured it out. She said, I figured it out. I see what you're trying to skirt around.
Wait a minute. Well, his sex is male and my sex is female. That's true. And your sex is female, right? Yeah. And grandma's is female. Okay, good. So you got it.
You just moved right on past it.
Right. And
you're like,
ding, ding.
I know this
500, Alex.
But I'm going to move here.
I'm like, what?
Listen. They absorb so much more. Like I remember being little and repeating certain things that I had heard while I was like playing with my Barbie dolls that older folks in the family were saying, and my mom or dad would be like, what are you talking about? How do you know that? And I'd be like, y'all talk like there's a wall surrounding me just because I'm little. Just because I'm not looking at you don't mean I'm not listening to you.
Right.
Why do people think that or forget that they were children once and also had ears? I don't get it. I don't get it. They hear everything.
They hear everything. I know little Marcus, he be sipping on all the tea. Little Marcus just be
like, what else happened?
Especially when we in the car and I'm just like, I don't have my earbuds. Just give me clue words. That be me all the time. The other thing that I miss is I feel, and tell me if you all have this same thing. I don't feel comfortable. I don't know what the word is. Discovering myself as much as I did when I was younger. I almost feel like I have to know who I am completely right now in order to try to like raise my kids without a bunch of hypocrisy. So when I was in my 20s, I definitely did not feel the weight of know who you are, know what you believe in. It was a thing of I could still be discovering that in the moment. And now that I am not only teaching on purpose, I'm also an example to my children.
Mm-hmm.
I feel less comfortable being like, how do I feel about that? Or pivoting on certain things, because so it's not that I'm being bullheaded about stuff, but I do feel less comfortable just being in a place of, I don't know all the time. Just even thinking about like even with career moves that I make, I'm not about to be testing the water in a bunch of things, because there are people that are dependent upon me to do the thing that gives the result of, I can now financially take care of you all.
Mm-hmm.
Where in my 20s, I could easily be like, you know what, I'm going to try being a go-go dancer, see how that looks. Or, you know what, I think I'm going to go to tour singing, see if I like that. Where those are not that I want to do any of those things now, but I just feel like I have to kind of know what I think, know what I want, know what I'm going to do next. There's not as much discovery as there was when I was younger. And I enjoyed that discovery phase of my life of just like, I didn't even know I like this. And now I'm just like, go with what you know, girl. You don't have time for all this. You don't have time for all this figuring it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So I miss that some, and I know some of that is just I'm putting it on myself, but there are in some cases where it is like, no, you have a mortgage to pay today, so you don't have time to see if you can be an ice skater. That's not going to work.
Right.
You have to do the thing,
Right. And I think I don't have that shared experience. I still am like, what is this? How do I do that? Let's discover this thing over here when I have time, which is very limited. So it's very rare now to even have the opportunity to play in that way. But I also feel like, because I want Rhea to like explore and figure out what she likes and to feel safe figuring things out, and that she doesn't have to just, go one way. I kind of enjoy also being that example a little bit for her, that you can still keep your head above water and, paint some, write a little bit, design here. Like right now she's very determined that she is not an actress. She tells me this all the time. I am not an actress. I am a director, mommy. And so like we're, pushing that. And then she also loves to build and draw buildings. And like she plays with these magnetiles, like they're going out of style. Like the stuff that she builds and layers and levels, I'm like, yeah, do that. What else? And so I try to remember that it's okay to also have that for myself, and while being responsible. It's not like, I'm sure in your 20s you weren't also being a dingbat and being like, I'm gonna be a roadie. Like,
no, definitely I get the responsibility. You know what it is? I just feel the weight of my decisions more. So I don't feel as free to make decisions when I don't know what the outcome will be, because I do want my children to explore as well. But I feel like I give them safety to explore by me setting this stability of mama is very predictable, while they can be unpredictable on top of it. And not to say that choosing to figure out what you like is unpredictability, but for me, for some reason, that weight of my actions falls so heavy on my shoulders and in my mind that I just be like, girl, pause on all this exploring. Do the thing, and let them do the exploring and be like, good job.
Yeah. I feel I'm a little bit of both of you, like 50-50. I feel like, yes, my decisions weigh heavily now, and I really don't have the leeway that I once had to sort of be that explorative. But I'm inspired by Aria and how she is still a kid and has that youthful mind where she's like, anything goes. I want to try this, try that, touch this, touch that, experience this and that. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like I can still do that. I'm still breathing. You know what I mean? But with strategy, and with premeditation, nothing willy-nilly out here. Like, let's go get on a motorcycle, Aria. Like, that is not happening.
No.
But like just being that free like a kid, I think it is good. And it's important. And I'm gonna, like, I've already told myself, like, I have a few classes that I'm gonna start taking just from, you know what I mean? Just from watching her. And I'm like, you know what? My brain is still working and it's still receptive to new knowledge. So let's go.
Love
so,
it.
But yeah, I do get both of you. I feel both of y'all. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just thinking about it just gave me a little bit of anxiety. I was like, oh.
Also, though, you do try new things all the time. Like, I'm listening to you, but I'm also like, what's she talking about a little bit? Because you're always trying new things. You're always saying, I don't know what this is going to be like, but I'm going to give it a shot. I don't know what the result here is going to be, but I'm going to try it. You do that all the time.
I'm telling you, it's the facade in which I create. And I've talked about this. I actually talked about it to Quinn yesterday. It's a facade of, I understand the calculated risk that I am taking. And it's the very small calculated risk that I'm willing to take in the unknowing. Like even with YouTube, the unknowing that I was doing. One, I was a new mom, so it hadn't chipped away at me fully yet of God, you can't do these things. But even starting with Mama Likes, calculated risk. I mean, or it could just be I was being a smart businesswoman, even though I didn't know what I was doing, but it was still very much so like, Angel, how much risk can you take? And then stay underneath that, just stay underneath that some. I mean, I do it in the sense of like what Quinn said, I love to take a good class now. And then listen, I don't know how to do something. Show me how to do it, so I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
But
I know that's right. It's like, oh, that's how you do it? Thank you, no more.
Log in off now.
Yeah. But a lot of things I don't do necessarily unless it is, even though that's my new word of the day, new word of the year. And I would love to hear you all's before we close it out, if y'all have one. If not, we can save it for the next episode. But I do, most of the things I feel like I do is connected to how is this going to progress me in my career and financially for my children versus is this going to bring me joy regardless of what the outcome or benefit it is to my family in a materialistic way. Okay. So, but joy is my new word for 2021.
Love it.
Joy.
Let's go.
I'm tired of the thing that we said earlier, what I was mentioning earlier, the whole struggle, like, I struggled through it. You could do it. I've done it. I'm a master at it. I'm finished.
Yeah, no more.
So I'm like, if it brings me, I need it to bring me joy, or I need to pay somebody to do the part that doesn't bring me joy, and I'll just do the joyful part. And if I can't pay somebody to do it, then I not do. I do no more.
Yeah.
I don't do no more.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I do no more. Do any of you ladies have a word?
I have a word. Yay.
Get it, Quinn.
My word is elevation. Elevation. Okay. It's a word I feel like that will definitely allow me to manifest the things that I know I want to achieve, the places I know I want to be. I can also share it with Aria, and everything is upward and onward through God. He's up. Let's go. Heart is up. Mine is up. Elevate.
Ooh, I like that.
Elevate. I love it. Do you have a word yet, Dinora? Or are you still marinating?
I hadn't even thought about a word. So that'll be on my to-do list, because that's great. I love that.
Yeah. Having like a word to meditate on, to just like recenter yourself, because obviously the way the world is going now, golly, everything keeps out to, as soon as we think we find center, something
hello.
It's like center where? No. So having a word to just like,
no, that's good.
Read. So next episode, we're going to find out what Dinora's word is.
Yeah.
And so is Dinora.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Dinora.
was a mess. So ladies, go around, tell everybody where they can follow you on social media. And if you have any projects or anything coming out, go ahead, Quinn.
Quinn Walters at Quinn Walters on IG. I'm Quinn Walters on Facebook. Quinn the Artist on Twitter. Quinn with one N. I gotta say that because everybody spell it with two N's.
That's right. And I am Dinora Walcott everywhere. So come on and find me. DinoraWalcott. There you go.
And you can find me at ThatChickAngel across all platforms. On this show, Mommy Confessions, you can find it everywhere podcasts are found. I'm going to try to do better with my uploads because I'm going to hire someone else to upload it. So you also be able to see the visual of this on Facebook as well as YouTube. So you can comment and enjoy the conversation. You can also catch my other podcast, Here's the Thing with Kev on Stage. Is This Going to Cause an Argument? With my husband, Marcus Tanksley, and Rose Pricks, which is a roasting podcast of the show The Bachelor. You can find that where all podcasts are found. You guys, we are so excited to be back. I miss my ladies. Hopefully you missed us too. We are hoping to just really make this podcast a really fun experience for you, whether you are a mom or a mom in waiting or a person that just likes to laugh. Hopefully enjoy us. So until next time, you all be blessed and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
That chick